I think we need to start with a happy birthday to Lee Durrant. Happy birthday to you for yesterday. Happy birthday to you for yesterday. Happy birthday, dear Lee Durrant, for yesterday. Happy birthday to you. We had no comprehension that the timing of there not being a coffee moaning would have been so spectacularly wrong for you, Lee. I'm so sorry. I hope you had a lovely day. It looks like you did on Insta. So everyone in the room wishing you a happy birthday for yesterday, and I'm sure loads and loads of people did yesterday too. Good morning, everyone. Morning if you're listening on podcast. How are we all? Hi, Sonia. Hi, Tanya. I saw your comments earlier, Sonia. Hope you're well. Sending you love. Faith. Hello. Blue sky and sunshine, but it was chilly. Hung towels out to dry just now in North London. Teresa Hutchinson, hello, sweetie. Leo, hello, my darling. How are you? Good morning, Stuart G. How's your lovely doggy? Russ, April, hi, good morning, everyone. So what are we going to natter about? Hey, Zoe, how are you, sweetie? You good? Hi, Rachel. Sorry if I haven't included everyone. If you're listening, I'm saying hello to all of our followers and all of our family guests on our live chat on YouTube. Okay, what are we chatting about today? Nanny State UK. Okay. I think a lot of people, I think the vast majority of people don't smoke, though that's not true. Okay, that's a good question. On the other page, because I'm on StreamYard, I can't access it, otherwise it'll kick up the audio all wrong. But who here smokes? Does anyone here smoke? Has it become one of those old-fashioned? Natasha, hi, sweetie, sending you love. Hope you're well, sweetheart. And Christos, there you are. Hi, everyone. Alison, Teresa. Anyone a smoker? Anyone here a smoker? Whilst you're answering that, we're going to be talking about that. Nanny State UK, smoking ban potentially outside pubs, outside restaurants, also outside hospitals, in playgrounds and things like that. But also Ryanair boss has said that there should be a ban on people drinking more than 2 drinks before they get on planes. Are we a nanny state? That's the question I want to ask you. We're also going to be talking about Trump has shared... well, like Michelle Obama says, when he goes low, we go higher, but he's gone lower, so do we go lower still? Higher, lower, higher, lower. Donald Trump sharing the most outrageous memes on his Truth Social, which I've signed up to. It's really odd. I feel like I'm getting personal messages from him just to keep an eye on the naughty bastard, just to keep an eye on what he's up to. Manchester Hotel, you probably heard this, but last time we were with you, we were all chatting Oasis. We were not looking back in anger. We were cigarettes and alcohol, but not outside pubs. Did they, didn't they? Are they being a bit loose with the truth? Did a Manchester hotel suddenly hike their prices up and then suddenly knock them down and everyone got a little bit upset about it? And we're going to be talking about manscaping. Oh yeah, manscaping. Does anyone remember my moment in Cornwall where I had my chest scaped and I was told confidently it would stay that way and it didn't? One more hair grew round one nipple. So let's have a look. Who smokes? Morning, Keely. Who's a smoker? All my cousins from 12 smoked, Leo. Wow, bloody hell. I was trying to remember the first time I had a cigarette. How old was I? I think I must have been about... So stupid. It was a silk cut, or as we used to call them, and we're not proud of this, it was the 1980s. Silk slut, I think that's what we called them. Silk cut. Sarah Jane, it was with my girlfriend. Sarah Jane Larkin. Zoe, it was with Jane. No, never been a smoker, but others smoking me has never bothered me. Jane Grimsey, ex-smoker, now a vapor. So what do you think? I think there's different elements to this. So this is the report, or this is the news that it's been leaked government documents, seen by the Sun, suggest that the government is looking to ban smoking outside pubs. They want to ban smoking in areas outside football stadiums, outdoor restaurants, shisha bars, that will be the end of the shisha bar, and open-air spaces in nightclubs. It will also apply to outside areas outside universities, hospitals, children's play areas, and small parks. And vapors could also be hit too. Discuss, what do you think? Now, of course, there's a little bit, also, I've still got your comments up there. There's a little bit of concern. I started smoking at 13, Band H, now vaping, and a Charalumbus. Adienka, Ajibala, smoking is not good for our mouths. It's not. Smoking and alcohol are 2 of the biggest causes of mouth cancer and such like. Jackie Vellino, let's have a look. What do you think? You think it's a great idea, but I'm a non-smoker. Zoe, what do you think? I don't smoke, but to ban it in smoking areas is a bit OTT. I like the way you say that. Yeah, let's ban smoking and smoke. Well, but maybe that's the point. Maybe it's about there not being smoking. I don't think they'd call them. Do you think it'd be funny if they kept them? That's the smoking area, but you're just not allowed to smoke there anymore. Where can I go and not smoke? In the smoking area? Oh, yeah, because you can't smoke there anymore. Right. If I want to smoke a cigarette, where should I go? Well, don't go to the smoking area because you can't smoke there. So is there a smoking area? No, there's a non-smoking area in the pub. Can I smoke there? No. Okay. No, you're right. But I'll tell you something we noticed, because when we were away in Montenegro, which isn't in, well, it's in Europe, obviously, but it's not in the EU. It's not part of the Szechuan, is it, countries, whatever that is. And so everyone was smoking everywhere. You had smoking rooms inside. In fact, I went into a room in a restaurant that was fully smoking. I have asthma and everything. It's terrible. I shouldn't be in there. I wanted a taste of 1976. And I got it. I got it by being unable to breathe and finding everything was disgusting. Oh, Christos, look at you. Smoked for a year after the army. Cigarettes were called Black Death. That wasn't the brand, was it? Bloody hell, never since. Smoking only takes from you. Absolutely. Physically and metaphorically. I don't think it gives you anything. What did we all think it gave us? What does it give people? I mean, I think once you've got past the idea that it makes you look cool, because you can kind of see that when you're young and naive and fucking stupid. And let's not forget, back in my day, smoking was freely seen everywhere in the cinema and in films. So it was a thing. If you look at the Brat Pack films, Breakfast Club and all that, they're all smoking. But yeah, once you get past the kind of too cool for school, so I'll go and smoke outside school. You're not allowed to smoke outside school now. Yeah, why do you do it? It's a habit, right? It's a habit. Psoriasis, Sarah D. Good point. My eczema, which used to always be here and here, I sometimes get a flare up of it, and it used to be literally, whichever side, it was the side I smoked. I also think this tooth dips in because that's where I used to smoke. Stuart G, my husband, Mark, is an ex-smoker. He is the worst. Now he hates anyone smoking. Oh, a reformed smoker, Stuart. That's a good point. A reformed smoker. I mean, for me, I've said it many times. I mean, when I finally stopped drinking, back in the day, we used to stand outside the rehab, just all of us in a line, puffing like nutters. There'd be manic depressives, would be with the anorexics and the food issue people, and then there would be the drug addicts and the drink addict and the alcoholics, and there we all smoking away like a nutter. It was a step down addiction, a step away from the gun addiction. And then, of course, it had to be dealt with because, of course, you don't look cool and you start to just feel shit. It's so expensive to smoke. And guess how much the cigarettes were in Montenegro? You're not going to believe this. €2.50 a pack. €2.50 a pack. So any smokers here are going, what? Get me on a flight to Montenegro now. Anna Charolumbus, I don't like the smell of cigarettes, so I vape now. Can't give up completely. Isn't that funny? I think every now and then Nadia goes, oh, God, the smell of that cigarette smells fine. It smells great. She won't be able to say that again because there won't be anywhere to smoke outside anyway. It has to be a particular type of smoke or cigarette, I think. I think it has to be like a French Gauloise. Or I just think smoking sometimes smells nice when you're in the right place, in the right headspace. Do you get me? Some people get more addicted, Hilary Daly, than others, and it can be so hard to give up. So glad my kids don't smoke. Tell me about it. It's weird, isn't it? Heroin, crack, fentanyl, you name it. You can get over those humps. I'm joking. That's dark humor. We do dark humor here. You can't. But I mean, for me, interestingly, smoking is one of the biggest disappointments. And I know my mother, who has probably injected heroin into her eyeballs. That's how much of a hippie mad chick she was. She was most disappointed, not when I was chasing the dragon. She was most disappointed when I smoked an awful lot of cigarettes one weekend. Really, it's weird. Jenny J, I need to stop smoking. Tanya Bartlett, I hate the smell. Elaine Denning, banning smoking inside pubs closed so many of them down. If they ban it in pub gardens, it will destroy so many more. And Elaine Denning, you are a brilliant segue today. Do you know why? Because you're sort of sitting there thinking, well, what not to like about this? But of course, the hospitality industry, having come out of lockdown, having been blighted by the pandemic, there's huge concern. You're right. Smoking doesn't happen inside. And a huge footfall in pubs and clubs. I mean, I've filmed in a few clubs where they have that sort of, they all have a sort of almost like a courtyardy, outsidey area. I think a lot of people will not go to these venues if they can't smoke anywhere near them. And I think where this is a good idea is where they're talking about wanting to apply it to outside universities, hospitals. I think that makes sense. Mind you, it wasn't a hospital. I remember standing outside Mentorn Films on Wardour Street, chatting away, smoking cigarettes. I met the mother of a daughter there. It's just like, it's so much can happen on the doorstep, smoking cigarettes. So much fun. But lots of people don't like it. Children's play areas, don't smoke around kids. Now, get this. I can't remember the state, but there is a state in America where I think they're toying with the idea, I kid you not, of banning smoking in the home. We're not quite there yet. But do you think this is okay? So with this thought there, I think there's an argument to do this in civic areas. That's what I'm going to call them. Public buildings, places where people have no choice but to go. And where really you're not there to kick back, relax, and socialise. Do you get me? Morning, Alison Fisher. Hi, Needin. Look, Emma L2189, a little bit hard on the collar there. What's next? Are they going to ban it outside the shop? So here's the question. With this in mind, Dawny, I hated at the start. Everyone stood in the entrance. It saved using a fog machine. It was like going through the start of stars in your eyes when you got in the bar. And who were you when you got in there, Dawny? Who were you? Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be... I always think of Gary Lineker when I think of you, Dawny, because you're Leicester. My dad... My husband said when he was in Canada, people can't smoke inside because of smoke detectors. My dad had a massive stroke at 57. The amount of nurses that smoked outside the stroke ward was unbelievable. That was 20 years ago. I know it's odd, isn't it? It's odd when you see... people who work, it's like I went past our GP surgery the other day, and all the receptionists are outside smoking. And I was thinking, I wonder how many people you've seen come through struggling with smoking-related illnesses. But it is an addiction. And I do think we all individually have a certain amount of exceptionalism, don't we? We all think that lighting fire into our mouth and inhaling it isn't going to hurt me. The cost to the NHS is massive. We're talking about billions. And that's Labour's comeback to Elaine Denning's comment, Me Too. God, this is brilliant. You guys are just covering the stories without me having to read them. It's just so great. No, but seriously, you're right. On the one hand, it's going to be potentially a massive whack to the hospitality sector, number of bars and pubs, especially bars and pubs that have a large outside area and perhaps can really, I'm thinking of, there's a place, what's the name of it? Oh my God, there's a place down in, on the way into Brixton. Oh, I can't remember the bloody name of it. All of our family, everyone's gone drinking there. Anyway, it's got a huge outside area. The outside area is bigger than the inside area. And I'd have thought for them that would be a real headache. But the government's pushback is, proponents of this claim that the economic benefits will outweigh the cost because smoking costs taxpayers $22 billion a year in health spending. You could almost plug the deficit by banning smoking completely. I mean, obviously, you wouldn't be able to get the revenue that you get from selling the cigarettes, but I'm sure further down the way. I mean, okay. So here's the subsidiary question. Is it a subsidiary? Is it a subsequent? Secondary? I don't know. Something beginning with this. Here's a subsidiary question. Given that the head of Ryanair has also said that at airports, people shouldn't be allowed to drink more than 2 drinks, because too many people are getting on flights too drunk. And then, of course, when you're on the flight, you can have more drinks. This isn't about stopping drinking. You can buy drinks on the flight. But the head of Wetherspoons has gone, what the hell? So no smoking outside his pubs, not in airports, and people are saying you can only buy 2 drinks in an airport? Are we, and this is the question, are we living in a nanny state? Is there a great big nanny goat just there above us going, are we in, do you feel that you're in a nanny state? Me too. Bars and pubs will have to innovate in other ways. If they need smokers to survive, they need to attract more non-smokers. Wow, I wonder how they do that. It's true. I mean, or maybe you can have smoking areas like Zoe was saying, but like near a bus stop, but not a bus stop, because I'm sure bus stops, I wonder if you could smoke at a bus stop. I wonder if bus stops will be in it. Does anyone feel, yes, says Good Ship Lollipop. We are in a nanny state. Where is the line, Good Ship Lollipop, do you think? Between being told what to do and being allowed to do what we want, when doing what we want costs the state so much money. Do you know what I mean? Holly D, good point here. Obesity costs the NHS an incredible amount, but we have to give people individual agency. Or what do they do and what they do with their own bodies? Otherwise, where does it stop? Extreme sports, alcohol. It's a hard one. It's a hard one, isn't it? Is it education? That sounds so boring, doesn't it? Just know what it does to you and you can make a choice. Is it about making an informed choice? Oh, no, I know that this is wrong. But addiction kicks in. Addiction kicks in. And when addiction kicks in, who's to blame around addiction? If when someone's groomed, someone is prosecuted for grooming, is there not a strong argument to say that really capitalism is a societal grooming of telling us that we need this and we should have that and do it. And once you've done it, you can't not do it. I'm only kind of throwing out radical thought. Macy Kinsella says it very simply: stop smoking because it's not good for your lungs. Yeah. I mean, for example, it's not nanny state, is it, to put hideous photographs on packets of cigarettes showing you the consequences of smoking? That's literally what made me stop. I mean, I connected the image to, oh my God, do I want my children to have to be sat at my bedside thinking dad's on a lung support machine? He had asthma. What an idiot. Watching him die in an agonizing pain. Did I want to put them through that? And this was how it was going to happen through this. So the images were, for me, that was like a short, sharp shock. And this was before images were put on cigarettes over here. We are flying Ryanair next week to Gran Canaria, Stuart G. So I'll let you know after that. See how many drinks you can have before you get on, and see how many drinks you can have when you get. No, I'm not encouraging alcoholism, for God's sake. No, I'm not saying that at all. I think the right of people to sit outside a pub and not have their lungs destroyed, says SC, by the choices of others tops the right of smokers, to be honest. I think the right to not get ill from something, courtesy of someone else, should be a priority in all situations. I know what you're saying. But the person who doesn't want to get ill because someone else is smoking, could they not just choose to go inside? I mean, I have sat at some, when I've sat outside pubs and bars and places, obviously as a non-drinker and as a non-smoker, we were somewhere on holiday and the smoke was so strong. It was like he was smoking 86 packets of cigarettes all at the same time. And, and there was a couple of moments where I thought, I feel like I'm eating smoke. It wasn't nice. I can't pretend. I was like, oh, the halcyon days of smoking. This is really, really cool. Faith Goodman, what actually stops you drinking where's it gone? Faith Goodman, that's a good question. This stops you drinking the duty free. I remember an awful flight where I drank the duty free. Oh my God, me and someone else I was traveling with, we weren't blary with anyone, but we were blary with each other. I know you're not allowed to, but what actually stops you doing it? Are you not allowed to now? God almighty. I seem to remember a bottle of Bailey's rolling down the aisle. God, what a mess. MeTube, I like this comment. The world has become a nicer place since nations banned indoor smoking. Now we need to ban it in more places to make it even. You know what, MeTube? That should be put on a t-shirt. I like that. It's nice and simple. And you're right. I think you're absolutely right. Janine K. Love a little tipple on a plane, but not at 6 a.m. in the morning like some people are doing before they go on. That's a whole different thing. The gloves are off when it comes to drinking. Apart from abroad, other airports, they're not quite the same. Gabrielle, this ban will probably start the riots again. Well, as I say, for those of you who are coming a little bit late, the story is this has been leaked to The Sun that the government is considering. It is actually, I think, a continuation of the tobacco and vaping bill or law that Sunak was pushing through. But they're wanting to extend the ban on smoking to outside areas such as football stadiums, outdoor restaurants, shisha bars, and open-air spaces at nightclubs. They want to. I think there's question marks there because I can see how not so much about football stadiums, but then other areas I agree with. So outside universities, hospitals, children's play areas, small parks. I think probably places like bus stops too, and outside stations. That would be a good idea because no one has a choice about using those places. You get me? Yeah, that's interesting. I can't tell. Did anyone think we live in a nanny state? Yes or no? Give me a yes or no now, please. I haven't got clarity on this, guys, because in a minute I'm going to play you a clip from Liam Gallagher, and you're going to have even more or even less clarity on anything. Do you think we live in a nanny state? Tiny Bartlett says no. Do you think we should be, you know, yes or no? I'm not going to muddy the question. I'm going to do the ADHD thing of asking another question. Dawny, yes. You'd like to not walk through a smoke machine as you go, and you'd like to walk into a pub that is a smoke machine. Oh, look, yes and no, Sarah D. Yes, yes. Oh, a lot of you saying yes. Okay. Yes, probably. Sonia Donovan, no. You already can't smoke at bus. Oh, you can't smoke at bus stops. Well, fucking hell, that's not observed in London. Jesus, everyone's smoking at bus stops. There's positive barbecues at bus stops. Vast majority of you feel we do. Okay, cool. All right, that's interesting. Right. What do you make of this?
Do you think the band would have been a success without Noel?
No. Well, who knows? It's like, would Jesus Christ been a fucking pervert if he had a crisp packet on his head? No one knows, did he?
He asks the killer questions none of us could ever have even considered asking, even if we chopped up the dictionary and threw all the words in a different direction. I just wanted to play. Let's just try and unpack what he's actually saying again there. Sorry.
Do you think the band would have been a success without Noel?
No. Well, who knows? It's like, would Jesus Christ been a fucking pervert if he had a crisp packet on his head? No one knows, did he?
What I love, right at the end there, what I love that he does, he says, no one knows, did he? It's like complete confusion of past tense, future tense, biblical, crisp packet, head, perversion. What? I'm looking forward to more of this shit. That's what I'm looking forward to. Not so much of the Wonder War. Anyway, this was the story that we would have done yesterday, but we couldn't. Manchester hotel accused of greed over cancelled bookings made for Oasis gigs. Chain says, who believes them? Chain says, we made a mistake. It was a computer error. What the story, Morning Glory, is here is that allegedly, let me just pop up this hotel here. They had bookings, people were booking, and then the Oasis tour was announced, and then suddenly the computer said no, old bookings were cancelled. And look, this is one post on social media. Booked the Maldron Hotel yesterday for 11:30 for gigs. Conveniently, they've cancelled our bookings, obviously done it so they can resell for ridiculous prices. And then people did book for some nights whilst the Oasis dates have been issued, and they upped their prices, I think, by 3 times. So to be fair to the hotel, they have kicked back against this, and they've said hotel accused of greed. The Maldron hotels said this. What did they say? They said, we thought the first... Oh, no, hang on. A spokesperson for the Maldron Hotel says, due to a technical error with our booking system, substantially more rooms were booked than were available for the nights of the Oasis concerts. As a result, we are unable to honour all bookings made on these dates, and we are actively engaging with customers regarding their bookings. Who believes them? Who believes them? So 3 more dates have been added in the Oasis bum fight. I know a lot of you are on the ballot. How does that involve? What does that involve? Is it like the London Marathon? Did you have to pay to enter the ballot, or do you just enter the ballot? And when you enter the ballot, what does that mean? It means you get the opportunity to buy one, or do you get a free one? What does the ballot mean? I thought, oh, look, exciting ballot. And then I thought, what does it mean? Hotels like airlines book above 100% capacity. Oh, me too. You're being very you're playing with a straight bat when it comes to this hotel. I like what you're doing there. 5 days of this Oasis shit. Edward Bevington, don't look back in anger. Just say, okay, let's move on. Look at this. The boy in me got really excited about this. I don't know if anyone else will, but I saw this the other day. I thought, I must show this to the subs. Look at this. I thought this was digitally it looks like it's a bit sped up. So maybe it's a bit more hesitant and less. Look, this is a drone bicycle. I kid you not. Now, the only part of that I don't like is if you fall left or right, you go into one of the blades, don't you? It's kind of cool, isn't it? Don't know. Just boys out. I totally fall off that, Sadie C. Who thinks they'd stay on board? How long do you think you'd stay on board for on that? On the bicycle drone? Definitely moving towards Judge Dredd, aren't we? It's quite frightening. Sorry, I just want to put this up again because it makes me laugh. Let's just hear him one more time.
Do you think the band would have been a success without Noel?
No. Well, who knows? It's like, would Jesus Christ been a fucking pervert if he had a crisp packet on his head?
No one knows, did they? Can't smoke, but can try to stay alive on that, Sadie C. Yes, you could hover above the outdoor bar. Okay, Donald Trump. I signed up to, God forbid, I signed up to Truth Social at the weekend. Oh my God. Me and Nads are wanting to do more and more about the American election. Of course, information comes in from all angles. Some of it you just can't believe. Where's the fake news? What's the real news? And all this kind of malarkey. Why a crisp packet, me tube? What the hell was going on in there? It's like a random, tombola going on. I'm looking forward to more. All I know is I want more. I want more of the Gallagher spat and surrealism. It's not even like so incoherent you could put it on on a t-shirt or something. It's weird. So what has old Donald Trump? What's the Trump done now? Like I said, I've signed up to Truth Social, where he's posting like a madman. I didn't realize he's got 90 million followers on Twitter and only 7 million on his own Truth Social. Go to Truth Social. You can register for free. You can sign up. It's a shocking eye opener. It's toe-curlingly MAGA, which is Make America Great. It's eyeball burstingly QAnon or whatever it is. Who uses it? Absolutely. Well, Christ, a weird lot. But anyway, I've done it out of duty so that we can be first with stories when we start to kind of really ramp up some of our kind of chats about the American election. But he posted, or he didn't post. It's important to say this. He didn't post, but I simply shared. I didn't post. I would not post this, but I shared it. I liked it. And this is the post, which is quite something. Someone else had posted a photo of Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris saying, funny how BJ's impacted both their careers differently. Now, this is shocking. And this is lewd. And this is, to quote Michelle Obama, going low. And this is the oldest sexist, misogynist trope to trot out. You're right. He doesn't run his account. Mark will be red-pilled in a week. What does that mean? Red-pilled. What does red-pilled mean? This is red. Oh, is that something that happens on Truth Social? So this is just to reduce it. Now, of course, he didn't post it. He shared it, as MeTube says. He has a team that does this. Is Donald Trump actually sat on the toilet with his pants around his ankles, typing like mad? I think we like to think he might be. Scaramouche would have you think, one of his former sort of press advisors or campaigners would have you think that he is. I just think this is atrocious. I just think this is awful. Now, of course, Kamala Harris's team, the Democrats, just aren't responding to this kind of stuff. They are magnified. They just aren't responding to this kind of stuff. And that's the only way to deal with any narcissism or any narcissist, is to starve it of oxygen. But it's just a reminder that one of the things I think is happening for Donald Trump is, I think I've said it before, he's dealing with a woman of color, and just that in itself presents him with two categories of person that he's deeply uncomfortable with in terms of dealing with them. Let's not forget, he already has said he didn't know she turned black, or when did she turn black? And so, yeah, I do think they are gross animal. I think the reason American headlines are in our headlines more than our own is because our politics is relatively staid and quite boring. Though I disagree. I think go to the Guardian, the Telegraph, the Times, all of the domestic stuff's there. But it's because whatever happens in this election is going to have irresolvable impact. It affects the world in such a massive way. I mean, whether we like it or not, America is the colonial empire that rules the world. I mean, they control everything. They'd like to make us think they don't, but they really do. And I just wanted to just mention this because this is just one of the many things. I think this just speaks to, in a weird way, the lack of any kind of, I think, deep thinking that's going on the right. So in Donald Trump's campaign, it's going to be fascinating. In the next week, we're going to get a real sense of how he's going to attack Kamala. Now, I think Kamala Harris herself has to do an interview, and Trump's lot, the Republicans, have all kind of pulled her down because she is doing a chat, she is doing an interview, but she's doing it with her vice presidential candidate alongside her running mate. And Trump's making a big deal of this. Like, she can't answer questions. She hasn't done an interview. When is she going to talk? When is she going to be interviewed? And I think they're holding a lot of sort of hope that the final point that she's put on the spot by anyone with an unscripted question that she might keel over. But I think at the moment, it's Kamala's to lose. Does anyone agree? Does anyone think the dial has sort of definitively shifted, or do people think Trump has a chance to get back in? Hi, Reese. Hope you're well. Morning, Mark. Morning, everyone. The funny thing is him indirectly saying Kamala slept her way to the top. Love it. He arguably slept his way to the bottom. Boom, boom, shakalaka-lack. If I smoked, I'd light one up, but I wouldn't smoke it in here or outside or at a bus stop. In fact, where would I smoke it? It's not that totally, said Edward Bevington, about the emphasis on American politics. It's that ours is a smaller, more controllable system. Oh, good point. Like we are it's almost like we're just a tiny little island. Tawny, she can't answer questions. I've never heard Trump answer one. He just repeats himself. It's so true. Yeah, the idea, he just rambles. He makes noise. And claims that he's talking sense. Okay, moving on. So we've done that. Matt, now, okay. So who likes Tom Daly? Is it Tom Daly? That's his name. There he is. Tom Daly in a new advert for, I think, Gillette. The best a man can get, or the closest a man can get to. What do you think about manscaping? Do you think manscaping, manscaping is the idea that men remove virtually all their bodily hair, bar, of course, the eyebrows or the hair on the top of their head. The back, sack and crack and all that kind of stuff. Do you like a man manscaped? This is the question. He is a sweetheart. He's lovely. Hi, Clodagh, sending you big hugs and snoggy kisses. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. I'm not in control. Like Liam with his crisp packet, I'm not in control of where it's going to land. Up to them, he does it. Yeah, so yes, divers are doing it for aerodynamics. There's some people say that there's the sexual sort of pornographication of manscaping, i.e., so much porn has men and women with virtually no bodily hair whatsoever, and this just seems to be a thing, and so it's become a trend. If you look at Love Island, you never see a hairy chest. I do feel I'm almost demanding a comment from Zoe here. If a man on Love Island had hair on his chest, what would happen? Would everyone in there sort of become hard? Would all their wires cross and they'd be frazzled and go, what is on his chest? Have we got to the point? My hubs would take hours to do all of that. But look at some of the kit you can get. Look at this. Forget your razor. Look at the back shaver. I kid you not. You like a man to be a proper man, says Jenny Man, and his hair a sign of that. Yeah, I've never been particularly hairy, but look how it works. Look at that. Look at that, shaving it. Yeah, you see back hair. Some women like back hair, don't they? And some men like back. Again, this is an article actually in the Guardian by Zoe Williams, who talks about she sends her husband, poor man, for a bit of manscaping. So crack, and he came back and he said they treated me like a carcass. Just my chest that time. It was hard. It was tough. It was difficult. My ex had back hair. Zoe, what would happen, or Laura, and what would happen if a man walked onto Love Island with chest hair? Would his chances just be gone? Would everyone be online going, oh, God, what is that? Another thing is, I think also this article talks about how in the gay community, there's a lot more emphasis put on manscaping and getting the perfect kind of bush and all that kind of stuff. There's talk in the piece about men removing their armpit hair so they don't have to use deodorant so much. So there could be health sides to it. I think a lot of people mistakenly think that having too much hair means that you're going to sexually transmitted disease and all that. You can be dirtier, but actually, as Nadia's often talked about, it can actually mean, it's there for a reason, to protect you from infections. So we'll sort of move through this. Look, shaving hair on your tummy, tum-tum. Or do you quite like that little line of hair what is the line of hair that runs from the crotch to the belly button? Is it like an arrow? Sometimes feels like it's an arrow in the wrong direction. I thought this was funny. Only the bravest of men stuck around for the manscaping. Oh, silly. Face and balls, that's encouraging. The thing that worries me most is the on-off switch underneath. And I wonder if when you're literally on the bed or wherever it is you go, do you put your ass in the air to have your balls and crack done? I guess you do. I mean, apparently there's a company that's incredibly successful that specializes in kit to do the balls, because it's a dangerous, tricky affair, I think, you know, getting around the balls. My body's reaction to manscaping. Oh, we all know that feeling, not on our balls, just even on our chin. If you shave too often, too quickly, too soon after the previous shave, women don't get this, you can get this. And I'm pretty sure there are men knocking about with balls that look just like that too. Zoe Agnew, hairy fingers to me. My granddad had quite sort of aquiline feminine hands. I mean, he was very unhairy. I think I must have got his unhairy body from him. And he had a high widow's peak, but a full head of hair. And he didn't have a hair on his hands. And then I remember you meet people who have such hair. They've got more hair on that bit of their forefinger than you've got on your todger. And you're like, bloody hell. How much testosterone have you got in you? You wolf man. And finally, just to kick ourselves out, I thought this would be fun. La Tomatina happened at the weekend. Anyone like tomatoes? Very good for the prostate. Cooked tomatoes, that is. Check this out. I've filmed this before. It's great fun. It always looks great. But they had to have a real clampdown. They announced a clampdown. It happens in Valencia. They had to announce a clampdown on, apparently, as with all these things, sexual assault. Can you believe it? Happens within the melee of Tomatina. But let's check this out. This looks fun.
We are enjoying the acidic tomatoes. Wonderful, mind-blowing. I shall make some food. Mwah, mwah.
He's the kind of guy I wouldn't want to get trapped in a pub with.
Mwah, mwah. No!
And literally, when I filmed it, they do. And what you have to understand, this is surplus produce. It does look, what does strike you now, especially as food shortage, you're like, what the fuck is going on? A lot of this is, what do you call it? Ruined crop or dead crop. But the trucks literally come into town, and there is a corner, a couple of hotel corners, balconies, where the press, and we were there to film, you're allowed to film it. But what's quite funny is down here on the ground, a lot of the people down there begin to see you. You have to have back in the day, we had big cameras. You had to have these, waterproof things on them. They aim it at you. So suddenly you're under attack by tomatoes. Always tomatoes.
We love tomatoes. That's why we decided to come. And we've had a fab time. Yes! We're going to go make some spaghetti to have with our tomato sauce.
The itch on the growth back must be awful. Yes, sorry, I think you were talking about tomatoes. I was thinking I had a tomato grow on my back. But yes, the itch. When it all starts to come back, it's the itch. That's the itch it's an annual festival, absolutely. Okay, guys, there you go. That's your lot. Something else will be landing on the channel later. Have a lovely day. Lots of love. And just so that you know, the weekend I think it's a normal Curly Cooks, Coffee Moaning, all sorts of stuff. Nanny Di's back in the house, which is going to be nice. The Curly Cooks should do this. Yee, little flipping content producer head on there. Well